Have you ever met someone and thought, how do they get through that? And then you hear their story, and suddenly your own excuses don't even stand a chance. That's what this episode is all about. A reminder that your past is not your potential, and your current struggle could be the exact portal to your greatness. Today, I'm bringing you a conversation with someone who didn't just change his life, he rebuilt it from the inside out. His name is Ralph Sarkis. He has put in over 500 hours of one-on-one coaching, not just giving it, but receiving it. He has gone deep with personal life coaches, peak performance and business mentors, psychology-based coaches, trauma-informed guides, hypnotherapists, somatic practitioners, even universal and spiritual coaches who worked beyond the traditional models. He's walked through addiction, identity loss, and a profound grief, my friend. And rather than the collapse, he has turned that pain into fuel. He's earned his wisdom, and now he's using it to help others rise. I love this. Ralph isn't just sharing his tips, he's embodying the transformation. He's taken the best of all his teachers, done the deep work, and created a path that's helping other people radically shift who they are and how they live. So, if you've ever felt stuck, off track, or like your fire's gone dim, lean in, my friend. This story is going to move something in you. Hello, aloha. My name is Wendy J, and welcome to Embers Rising. Today, I'm hosting this show episode solo without my business partner and incredible husband, David Tucker. So it's just me and you today. And before we get into this, I have to acknowledge you for pressing play today. Whatever you are doing, maybe you're out on a run, maybe you're folding laundry, maybe you're at the gym. Thank you so much for being here, because this is an incredible story. And when he approached me with his story, I just thought, this is something you have to hear. So the fact that you press play today tells me that you are here for not just surface level. You're not just looking for hacks or hustle or another AI marketing conversation. You're here for real transformation, and that means a lot to us. So maybe you're in a season of questioning yourself. Maybe you've got that quiet knowing that it's time to do something more alignment, more purpose, more you. Yes. And I just want to let you know that I see you, we see you. We honor the version of you who's pressed play today, honestly. And if no one's told you lately, you're not behind. You're right on time. And listen, I used to always think that I was behind. I felt like every time I picked up one of the old weekly newspaper business or community I want to say magazines, but it wasn't a magazine. It was like the old paper pamphlet that they had out everywhere of the events. This is before the online world. I know I'm old school. And every time I looked at that, I always felt like I missed like 90% of the events because I was so behind all the time. But that's not you. That's not me. It's the timing of our life today. Let's transition into this interview. Let's listen to it, this powerful conversation, this powerhouse, Ralph Sarkis, because you deserve to know what's possible when you stop running from your own story and start rising because of it. Let's dive in. All right. Ralph, welcome, because I didn't say that the first time.
Thank you.
We're here, we're together. I'm excited about this conversation. We're going to you're going to take us through, your story, bringing us up to speed to where you're at today. And I'm super excited about it. I want to get into all that because you've been doing so much work on yourself and you have so much to give to so many other people. And I'm super fired up about, I'm a transforming person myself. So your message is so powerful. And I just want so many people in our audience to hear this, especially because our audience is full of people who want to transform, people that have that, burn in their heart that they're not doing anything with, or maybe they haven't stoked that fire enough for their ember to rise, So this is what it's all about. And you have some incredible gifts to share with us. So Let's dive in, can we?
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, definitely, and looking forward to just do that and excited.
I'm so excited. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I want you to take us back to this. And I wrote in here on my notes here this Ralph, this shy Ralph at 40 kilograms, which is like 88 pounds, my friends,
Yeah.
a depressed, addicted young man. Please take us back to this. When was that?
Wow, yeah, yeah, that's a good one. So I think I was around 13, 14.
Wow.
Yeah, so at a very young age. So
Wow.
basically, to tell you a bit more, I was born in Saudi, and in Saudi, I was living the life. I was surrounded by people, playing, like having a very beautiful childhood, until we decided to go back to my home country, that is Lebanon. Me and my mom, my dad stayed in Saudi, and my sister also came with us. So we were three in Lebanon, and it was quite good actually. It was, at first a bit hard to adapt and to fit in into this new school, new environment. But I was here. I was a bit like charismatic. I had it, I directly fitted in, had a group of friends. But all of that was just externally. Like inside, I was very messed up. I had a lot of insecurities. So that was very hard, but externally people would look at and like, he's doing great, he's doing awesome. No one worried about me because externally I was just showing like everything, I'm rocking it, I'm happy. But it was just, I couldn't sleep at night. I had a lot of insecurities, a lot of things that were stressing me out. And um and there I started, having surroundings around me, and I started doing a lot of drugs at like 13, 14, where I started. And that was heavy. I went into it like extremely, until I came to Barcelona actually to visit my sister, because my sister was here to study. And when I came here, my sister and my mom, they saw that it was like, there's something wrong with him. Like he was a bit charismatic, he was very extroverted, and out of a sudden, he's very skinny, he's shy, he's antisocial, and whatever he's thinking about was just going back to Lebanon and being with my friends, instead of enjoying Barcelona as the first time coming here. And
And
then
I
here's
remember
where,
you
tell
have
me.
you have a photo that you sent us of
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
very thin, and then also a video that you shared with us of you smoking.
Yes.
And I mean, it's such a different person, from who you are today. I mean, I just can't imagine that transformation of that mindset that you've had to change, because you're talking about you you're in your headspace, you're in Barcelona now, but your headspace is still like back in the Lebanon, Lebanon, Ralph.
Yes, 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 exactly. So then, my mom told me a thing, told me, you can do whatever you want in your life. Like they kind of lost control. I was very rebellious. I was very rude. I was very, I had something in mind. I would do it.
Yeah.
So she told me, like, you can do whatever you want. The only condition is to go talk to a coach. I was like, what is a coach? I don't care about the coach. Okay, she told it was like 1 hour per week on FaceTime. And I was like, okay, that's not something that's gonna harm me, and at the same time, I can enjoy my lifestyle. And that coach that I got introduced to, is actually a very in-depth coach into spirituality, galactical lives, and stuff. Very in-depth, into things that as a 14, 15-year old kid didn't really understand. But I was like, let me give it a try. I had nothing to lose. And I still remember the first call I had with her. It was FaceTime. I put my phone in front of a bottle of water, and she just started the call. And I was like, "Hey, I actually don't want to do that with you. It's just something by obligation. If you think I'm gonna stop my habits, definitely not, because I believe that's what makes me happy. So don't try to change me. I don't want to change. I'm just here by obligation." That's literally what I told her, word by word.
Wow. And and can you tell us what was driving this with these habits? Like, why were you doing this?
Definitely, definitely. At first, I thought, it was just something for fun, but then I also had like an extreme, in-depth reality with that, you know. And I was like, there's something here. There's just more than just you having fun or trying as a kid. There was something there. And slowly, while talking with this coach, she told me, no, we don't want to change anything in you. We're just here to talk and explore. And slowly, session by session, I started understanding, like, oh my God, like I have so many blockages, so many suppressed emotions that I've been trying to suppress for so long, so many insecurities. I had beliefs about myself, beliefs about the world, that are beliefs that are just here to drain you down. And that's actually what is hiding the potential of anyone listening, even. You know, we have a lot of conditioning, we have a lot of things based, especially in our childhood, that is just suppressing this. I call this inner light, this inner wisdom, this inner fire.
Wow. And just someone actually starting to talk about it is helping you now think about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And the habits that you were doing, how long did you do those for?
Yeah. So basically, to be correct in the ages, because I'm still a bit lost in the ages, because I've been doing things and I stopped and I did. But when I started heavily, it was like at 15, 16.
Okay.
You know, smoking and all of that. And I did like 2, 3 years of fully coaching, and I was still doing the drugs even after the sessions, before the
Wow.
sessions, because also I realized that the surrounding was just that around me, you know. So even
Yeah.
if I wanted to stop that, I would wake up, I'd see friends doing that. I was like, let me get involved into this, you know.
And were you doing the drugs because you were lost in your own, like you didn't have a direction, you weren't feeling valued, you didn't know where to go? Or use it
Yeah.
as a management tool?
I think it was just a thing to avoid pain, the pain and the sadness that I had within me. Because I truly believe that anything you take externally, even it could be not just extreme as drugs, but you drinking a lot, you eating a lot, is just a way to make yourself feel a certain type of emotion. And it's
Yeah.
also a way to escape certain type of emotion, because anything we do in life is either to move away from pain or move towards pleasure. So that was my way of just removing that pain and moving towards a artificial pleasure that was also very extreme into pleasure.
And was your pain, Ralph, because your family was separated and you're moving and you weren't with your friends, or was it deeper than that?
Yeah, I think it was deeper than that, because even till now I've been working on myself for 9 years now, and just reflecting, I've always, it's just layers and layers that you need to remove. And it's crazy because even when I was in Saudi, I had everything. You know, we were like a considered a wealthy family. We were surrounded by very good people. But it's just as kids, sometimes we give meaning and interpretation of things that aren't actually the way it is. But even as a kid, I always had like extreme sensations of anger, of not being understood, because I was also like the last in class. I didn't love at all like the school environment, you know. So since a very young age, I had so many internal beliefs that were just draining me down, a lot of suppressed pain and anger. And as a kid, you would express them, but people around you would not understand. You know, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's just a kid crying." But sometimes those emotions, when they're too intense, that's what is actually called a trauma. Trauma is just overwhelming sensations that your body can't process. Trauma
Yeah.
couldn't shouldn't be just about rape or extreme cases. Trauma is, you could get lost in the supermarket and create a trauma.
So since age 13 up to maybe what, 17-ish, 18, that you were in this space?
Yes, exactly.
And then what age were you when you were in Barcelona?
So I actually, when I finished school, I moved to Barcelona. But even just before moving at 18, at like
18.
16, 17, I started kind of understanding a bit more this personal development. I remember I even at like 16 bought The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I
Yep.
just sat down and literally for like 6 hours just wrote down everything about assets, what, liabilities and all of that. And I remembered like, wow, actually you can go from a victim of the environment to a creator of the environment. And I was like, let me dig deep into that. But I tried to change. You know, I would wake up, do the yoga, do the meditation, but it's just also the surrounding around me was draining me down. So the last year, I still remember the last year of school, I really wanted to leave because I felt like there's something I need to change, but there's this environment still dragging me down. And I was like, okay, let me just wait that year and just travel.
Hmm. Hmm. That reminds me of a story. Uh, your environment so much shapes you, and they say that they it does not. And you have to really work hard at moving past that. When I had my dream to live in Hawaii, everybody has the dream of living on an island somewhere, but it was like built core in me since I'd been a kid. I really wanted to work on. So I surrounded myself in my room, in my backyard, everything like just felt like Hawaii. I was wearing clothes that I would wear in Hawaii. It was like dead winter and I'm in shorts and a tank top in my mother's house going, I've got to move to Hawaii. On my wall, I had posters of the island. Like I was already creating, knowing that this was going to be my future there. I just didn't know the time frame. And already, you're talking about having now you're feeling like you've got to leave this space. There's something
Yes.
more for you.
Yes, yes.
Tell and now what's the next step? I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear the next step here.
So here comes the transformation, the excitement. So that when I moved to Barcelona, I've been working on myself for over like 3-4 years intensely, reading the books, doing now the meditations, discovering slowly this self-development journey, you know?
Yeah.
And then I started understanding that your personality creates your personal reality, and your personality is based on how you think, how you act, and how you feel. So I started looking inward, changing inward, and my external reality just started shifting. So my habits alone, without pushy, without discipline, without me saying like I need to stop that, just slowly the standards in your life go up when you start working inward. And then I would go to places, and every time I would meet someone, they would tell me, man, you have a beautiful energy. You have a beautiful energy. Oh, you have an awesome energy. I want to stay with you. I want to grab coffee with you. And I sat down with myself. I was like, what is energy, and why everyone is talking about my energy? What's special in me? And then I started understanding that we all have that energy. We are all like very beautiful, very, very charismatic, very courageous inwards, but there's a lot of things suppressing that. And I've understood that the more you can remove layers, the more you can tap into this energy, the more you can create external evidence and achievements and all of that. But I think everything starts from within.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And what age are you now moving through this space?
I think around 19, I started really stopping all the habits. The first year when I came to Barcelona, I was a bit also like having fun, partying, I was a bit also like still a bit lost, but not truly. Until I think at the age 20, where 19, 20, where I had this shift of like, let me just really tap into this potential that I now see clearly in front of me.
And are you still coaching with this gal?
Yes, yes, definitely. She is actually, I consider her my second mom, and yeah, definitely she's big part of my life.
So still today you're saying?
Yes, 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 yes. I now actually
Wow. Okay.
hired different. Oh, I have different coaches that I work
Of
with because
course.
yeah.
Of course. So you're saying now you're moving out of this party space in Barcelona. You're still in Barcelona, but you're now moving. You're starting to transition. The coach that you're working with is starting to see this. How is she influencing you now through this space?
Yeah, actually, I say good coaches don't usually influence you, they just guide you. And she guided me actually to start understanding, okay, like I know my potential, I know what I'm capable of. And from there, I was like, you know what? I was still in uni, and my university was very, like very chill. They have a lot of hours of working hours, and I had a lot of free time. So I was like, you know what? Let me do something regarding business. Let me learn, and I love learning by experience rather than just like theoretical stuff. So I talked to a kind of a mentor that I had, that is kind of a very close friend to the family, and he was living actually in Dubai. He was working in the crypto industry and network
Okay.
marketing. And I was like, you know what, that's interesting. I never heard about that. I've heard about it, but not in depth. I don't know a lot. Let me go and let me just be in his team and start learning, grow from there. And from there, I actually started working for over a year. Network marketing. I have built like in 1 year a team of 164 people. I was also invited to go to Dubai. I was invited to go to Lebanon to give a speech in front of 300 people that were like big investors. Here I was like 19, 20, and I still remember I was in Dubai and I was on the boat party, like very far from Dubai. I would see the whole city, and I was like, wow, like there's so much to experience in life. I felt all this rush of abundance, and I was like, you know what? Like I'm being selfish, playing small. Let me just go and go all out in.
Wow. Wow. And how long are you in Dubai now?
No, no, I've went for just a conference that I was invited to for over like a week.
Okay.
Just to go see the company, see the office. There was like a
Yeah.
leadership event and stuff like that.
And so then you moved there.
No, 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 no. I just went for a business trip, and then I
Oh,
came
that's
back.
it.
Yeah, I came back. Then I flew to Lebanon also for a week to do this presentation, this talk on stage. Then I flew back. So my hometown was Barcelona, but I would always like travel for business trips.
Okay, so now you've gone to Dubai, you've soaked up this new like wow. Now are you taking this into a different direction in Barcelona? Is this becoming a different
Yeah,
business?
yeah. So basically, when I came back to Barcelona, I've like, okay, I had so much things I wanted to achieve, and just my standards and what reality is just went like 10 times higher. I was like, okay, there's so much more I can experience. Let me just do more. I thought that was the answer, and then I started working in that more in depth, trying all the strategies, and until we discovered that my mom got cancer.
Hmm.
And when we heard that, it started, affecting me, affecting my business, affecting just the way I show up, because I was dealing with a lot of stress, and it was quite hard, to deal with all of that with this pressure. So my business slowly, slowly started going slower and slower, and until my mom passed away. So 2 years of battling cancer, and she passed away the day of my birthday.
Wow. 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 Ooh, that gives me some chills. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. That is just like such a hard road to have, just I guess for any of us in life, especially on your birthday. But you have chosen to see that a bit differently though. Tell us about that, because when we had our first conversation together, you had shared something that was so powerful to me when we had talked about that moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, that moment was quite hard, and then I started even questioning the purpose of life. My mom was such a good person. She was also at one moment like a healer, a hypnotherapist, and I didn't understand, like, you give, give, give in this world, and sometimes life is just unfair. Some people go before others, and it was just a reflection of like life is too short. And you would always hear those stories of like someone in the neighborhood, this happened, this guy died because of a car accident, but you would never actually imagine it's going to be in your life until it happened. And when it happened, it clicked. I was like, you know what, life is too short. Let me do something. Let me take her legacy, because I feel she gifted me the best gift in the world, and she introduced me to a coach. And I was like, you know what, let me also try to be a coach, and let me try to help others, because I've received the help. I've seen the transformation within me, and I truly believe the more you transform, the more people around you transform. So I
Hmm.
started also seeing the impact just with my own transformation, that wow, even my close people, the friends around me are changing. And I was like, let me tap into that. Let me start understanding a bit more this word that I've always been super passionate about, but it was just something, a long term goal, nothing short. And
And
then
and and where's your business now? Is the business still, did it
no, no, no. For
dissolve? Are you
yeah, I took the moment. I was like, I also believe in like focus, and I don't split your focus all over the place. So I was like, let me focus just on my coaching. And I was
Mhm.
like, I have all the skill set. I read all the books. I know everything about self development, and I've been doing the work. I have felt the transformation, but me delivering this transformation to other is a different skill set. So I was like, what is the best way for me to deliver that? I was like, let me enroll into like a coaching university. So I started searching all over the place, doing a lot of research, until I found one that is really good in the UK. It was like an online coaching program that they teach you how to be a coach. You get a certification that is approved
What's the
all
name of
around the
this one?
world. It's called Animas,
Okay.
and
Animus.
you get like the ICF. It's a very important diploma for the coaching.
Okay.
Okay, and I started doing that. I've went in depth into it, um, and we needed to do like 40 hours to get the diploma, and within
Wow.
the first 3 months I did like 250 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Full
Yeah.
on in, just absorbing
Yes, yes,
everything, taking it. Yeah.
yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
I was like, that's magic, like, because
Yeah.
I remember even like having the call with clients and then just seeing their smile and seeing that how inspired they were after the call. I was like, that's the best way, that's the
Yeah.
best feeling ever. So let me just double down on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome. I love that feeling when I'm working with someone too at the same time. It gives me a high for like the rest of the day. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I really made a difference. Same thing I'm sure with you, with that. So, okay, now now you've taken this program at Animas, and now I'm assuming you're certified.
Yes, actually, funny enough, I didn't even apply for the certification because I directly moved from their work is more like corporate thing, and I
Okay.
realized it's good, but it's very superficial for me. I love to go deeper,
Okay.
So then I created my own coaching business, and I still didn't even apply to get the diploma, even if I checked all the criterias to get it, because I was like, I don't actually care about the diploma.
Right. Yeah. Rad. That's awesome.
Yes.
So then you started your own coaching business. How long ago was that?
Yeah, actually, I've been focused on that for maybe the past 7 to 8 months.
Mhm.
Where I started understanding like, okay, like I was bringing value to the people I was coaching, like one on one, but then I realized it was, as I said, like very superficial. It was just about productivity, time management, goal settings, all of that. That is really good. I'm not saying it's not good, but I just realized if you don't change what is internally, you don't change the core beliefs that you have and that are usually stored in your subconscious mind, and 95% of who you are, of how you act, how you think, and how you feel goes from the subconscious mind. It means you're just working on the 5% of changing, but you can go easily back to the old self.
Yes.
So I was like,
Yes.
yeah, you know that.
Yes. Yes. I totally. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So now you're in this space because I've got my notes here and I wrote in here you had said, you have impacted thousands of people. You are working with 150 people. You've completed more than 500 hours of one-on-one coaching, helping others see true potential and stripping away these layers of programming, negativity, self-doubt like you were talking about. This is so fascinating. To me, it's just means what's possible for someone that's sitting here listening to this right now saying, or maybe someone that you're thinking about that is stuck in a spot that they're not moving, or they're not even happy with what they're doing in their life and they just want a different direction altogether. That what you're sharing with, there is possibility. And even down where we were talking about, what our listeners, the takeaways today from this talk. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, I started seeing while working with people that without knowing, we all had like, okay, this point B that we want to be in, and we are in point A. And what's the separation between point A and point B? Is just a lot of beliefs and a lot of lack of actions, and we avoid taking actions because there's a lot of fear. And why do we have all of those fear? Is because we've been conditioned to live in fear. We've conditioned to play small and to just be normal, play life as it is, rather than seeing this dream and going towards that. And I started understanding from where all of that come from, like why we are all why do we all have this feeling of not being good enough, or fear of failing, or fear of rejection. And I started understanding all of that comes, funny enough, from the childhood, even if we try to neglect that. So I think our childhood, from 0 to 7, 50% of your personality is already based, because your brain waves are very slow. So anything that comes just goes directly to your subconscious mind. And that's the
100%.
autopilot. That's the autopilot. So that's why even if you wake up, you're going to say, I want to have a good day, or shouting in front of a mirror, like some affirmations, don't actually really do the work, because you've been programmed. Your body, your nervous system is conditioned and programmed to stay and feel the same way, And our mind is 2000 even more years old, and its own purpose is not to make us happy or to make us successful. It's just to make us survive. And survival means staying in the known, staying in the familiarity, because if you can predict what's going to happen, you have a higher chance of survival. And that's why change feels so hard, because you're just repeating the past with the future.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I want to go through some of these other because this is going to help tell our story. Now, you actually have, Ralph, an incredible body physical change, and I've got a video to prove it, my friends, that you'll see here right now. Tell me about that, because not only have you it's all about mind, you are physically changing who you are.
Yes, definitely. I think, as I said, when you start working inward, your standards in life just go higher. And it doesn't mean just in the business world or in the physique world. It's just you start becoming just a better person. And a better person involves eating better, sleeping better, working out, giving contribution. Also, I feel is a big part of being a good human. And I think all of that didn't come with me trying, or it was too hard for me to adapt this consistency, because doing the work inward will make everything just flow. And that's what usually people say. Like, now there's a trend on social media, like the winter arc, or the monk mode, where you disappear for 6 months and you change and all of that. But I know a lot of people that have done that. They come back to say the word, and slowly they just get dragged back to the same person. Why
Yeah.
is that? Because you can work superficially to use the willpower, but the willpower doesn't get you super long. It doesn't get you super far. And
Yeah.
that's what people are actually missing. So I think working inward, as I said, it's just external reflection of, like, I'm fit because my mind is fit, my mind is sharp, my body will definitely follow my mind.
And the healthy habits start sticking finally, instead
Exactly.
of going back to the old habits, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And then you had sent us some photos of you on stage and speaking here at a couple of events. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so basically, I actually realized that I love impacting one on one, but what I love do and higher impact is to impact one to many. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm also very big into content creation. And for the public speaking, I feel that's one of my goals, definitely for this year, by the end of this year, because I realize now I'm focusing so much on my business and just want to make it very sustainable, very stable in a way. And then from there, I'll definitely move into practicing even more public speaking, because that's something that I love, and I feel this rush of energy doing that. But definitely, this is just a bit longer term, where I'm going to really focus into that. Now it's just about impacting as many people as I can with my coaching program.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell us about your coaching program.
Yes. So I think I usually say that to my clients. They tell me, like, how did you get all those information and put them in the program? And I've been telling them that I've been working on myself for over like 8, 9 years. And as I said, my first coach was a galactical coach, and another coach was a peak performance. I worked with hypnotherapists, with life coaches, with psychologists. So I've done everything you can think of. And then I realized all of them were great. Like a psychologist was talking a lot about the past, about the childhood. That was also very good for the healing, but it was missing the part of the future. And the coaching would talk so much about goals, achievement, but would just miss who you actually are and how you operate and why you operate that way. So then I set myself, and I said, I actually can create a course where I can take the best techniques from the best fields out there and just combine them into this course. So I created a course called the Freedom Formula. And the purpose of this course is to enter as a person and leave as a completely new person, mentally, physically, also just in the way you operate, in the way you talk, in the way you see things, and in the achievements, definitely. But the achievement part is the last part.
Wow. That's so impactful, because when you think about hiring a coach, you're not thinking about like the full suite overview of everything you could get. And you're talking about taking everything that you've learned from these incredible coaches and kind of packaging it into the overview. It's like this full suite of a whole being of what you could be at in your potential from just hiring a coach that's just focused at the one thing, in a sense. I love this. I love this, Ralph. This is so cool.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. So definitely I focused into that and I created different modules. So the first two modules are a bit more about the past, about your childhood, about the subconscious, about core beliefs, about money, about success. We all have things that we don't even question because they're just facts. Because if you think about it, a belief is just a thought you've been repeating over and over and over again until it just become like something that you don't question anymore. And that's very dangerous because usually those beliefs come not even from us, from society, from people around us, from our parents. Definitely our parents, we see things how our parents just talk to each other, and we consider, okay, that is love. So shouting, if I saw my mom shouting at my dad, but I know she loves him, so love is part of shouting. So
Mhm.
that's where the mind gets super confused. And the first two modules is about really understanding a bit more like how you see the world. And then we go into like, we definitely cannot change what happened in the past. And you usually hear this like, why are you like that? I'm like that because of something that happened 20 years ago. So
Mm.
it's about changing the meaning we give it. Because I passed through all of that, that's my story now. If you just listen to this podcast, you don't see me as playing a victim of my story. I'm actually using my story as a strength and as a fuel of sharing that with others. And we all have that. It's just about changing the meaning we give them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And is this coaching a group coaching one-on-one
Yeah, so
or
basically
one-on-one?
it's very personalized. I usually work with ambitious people that know they have this inner drive. They see a potential, they know they want to experience more in life, but there's just a lot of things blocking them. And you have one on one, you also receive, and it's a whole thing. Whatever feature you can think of is in there. You have journaling prompts, meditation, one on one coaching, group coaching, videos, exercises. So it's a full on thing. You're gonna be you're gonna have to do a lot of things because this transformation is just within 3 months. It's a whole on transformation. So 8 years of working myself, I was like, I'm gonna put all of that into a 3 month content
90
and
days. Yeah, I
90
love it.
days.
Yeah, I love it. 90 days transformation.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's absolutely incredible. And anybody can work with you?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm also quite also selective sometimes with the people I work with because I definitely love to provide results and guarantee results. So I usually work with a lot of people from coaches, from real estate investors, healers, from physiotherapists. So my range is quite big, but the only condition is to have this inner drive to do more
That's
or
awesome.
want more.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, so much, Ralph, so much. Well, what have I missed? What story am I missing that we haven't talked about? Because you mean we have taken our listeners through your transformation, from being this young kid to who you are today. And I just, if you're listening to this out there and you're thinking to yourself that it's not possible, or you are not even ready yet to take the nudge to the next step, please check out Ralph, because he may be able to inspire you to just, respark that ember inside of your own self. What else can you share? What else do you want our listeners to walk away with today?
Yeah, definitely what you said. And I also want to remind them that I'm not special. We all have this energy. We all have that knowledge within us. It's just that, I've took the time, the focus, the energy just to work on myself. And definitely any thought that you have about what reality could look like, it could happen. You can transform any thought into real reality and real evidence. And I promise you, I've done that myself. I help clients see that results externally. But it's just about taking this commitment. And commitment is different than decision. Commitment is really taking the time to say to yourself, you know what, no more, no more, no more playing small, no more procrastinating, no more finding excuses. Just let me go through that. And I definitely understand that this could be scary because this is the unknown, and it's normal. Your mind is programmed to make you feel fear, but it's just acting upon that. And I think with just knowledge, with small guidance, you can definitely trick your mind and use that all the tools of your mind to your advantage. And I truly believe that change, 80% of change is literally just awareness. And the
Yeah.
20% is just what you do with that. But the moment you're aware, there's no coming back, because you're now just aware that you have another option to take. So yeah.
So speaking of this 80% aware Ralph now, walk us through your typical day.
Yeah, so basically I wake up around here in Europe. It's not as in the US. I used to wake up at 5:30, but because here it's like we have dinner very late, so it's quite different. So I wake up at 7:30 and I have 1 hour of meditation. I've been practicing the work of Dr. Joe. I flew to his event. I actually now just 2 days ago bought another course from people that trained with him, so they're gonna train me so I could train others. So that's I'm very involved into his work. I
Yeah,
love what
because you
he
just
does.
came from Joe Dispenza's big event last month or
Yes,
something, wasn't
yes,
it?
yes, yes, in Switzerland.
In Switzerland, yeah.
Yes,
Sitting
yeah.
with 8,000 people in an arena, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was beautiful. It was very transformative, and actually in this event, I truly even more connected with the potential that I have, and it was just mind blowing. So I've been doing his 4 month of meditation every single day for an hour, and sometimes even 2 hours. And usually I finish my meditation at 8:30, have breakfast, and from 9 to 12, I usually have coaching calls or I just work on my business. I actually hired some people, so it's just also organizing the team. And then I usually never skip that. It's a part of who I am, actually. I go to the gym from 12 to 2 to shower, all of that, come back, eat. I usually meal prep definitely to win time. And then from around 2:30 to 3, I eat, I rest, and then from 3 till like 9, 10 p.m. I just work. But it really doesn't feel like work, because that's actually what I'm doing, having calls with people, talking. And personally, I get so much energy while talking to other people. So it's a win-win.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, what an amazing. That sounds like a dream schedule, Pete, my friend. So oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. This is so incredible, Ralph. I just want to thank you so much for being here with us and sharing this story, because I think anytime we can share each other's transformation out there, it just sparks a feeling of hope for all of us that it's possible, to go to the next step, to go to the next level. And we all have time and energy every day to wake up and think of, who we want to become for that day.
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
definitely. It was a pleasure.
so
And
where can our listeners learn more about you? Where can they find you?
yeah, definitely. So I have an Instagram. It's called Rise with Ralph.
Okay.
So Rise with and Ralph, my name. And I also have a YouTube channel that I used to upload a lot of vlogs, but I'm gonna get back in there probably when I come back from my trips, because I also tend to travel a lot. And I think, yeah, Instagram and YouTube is a good way to find me.
Wow, what an incredible story Ralph shared with us, going from his addiction self, depressed side, all the way to this now transformational coach, and then the amount of hours that someone has dedicated themselves to put into themselves. I mean, that's just, a lot of us don't even have that time and energy to put into ourselves every day. So, 500 hours of working on yourself in that personal development space. Incredible. Ralph's story is so powerful, and it really reminds us that life and anything that we're going through is not wasted. Not your pain, not your detours, not even the darkest nights. It really reminds us that you can rise from anything. And if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to stop hiding in the dark and actually start healing, this is your reminder, my friend. You are not broken. You are becoming. Your story doesn't disqualify you, it positions you. Keep pushing boundaries, keep chasing big dreams, and most importantly, my friend, keep rising. And I'm sending you aloha.